A telephone card, calling card or phone card for short, is a small plastic card, size, and shaped like a credit card, used to pay for telephone services. It is not necessary to have the physical card, except with the stored value system. Knowledge of the access telephone number to dial and the PIN is sufficient. Standard cards which can be purchased and used without any sort of account facility give a fixed amount of credit, and are discarded when used up. Rechargeable cards can be topped up, or collect payment in arrears. The system for payment and the way in which the card is used to place a telephone call vary from card to card. Cards known as remote memory cards have a PIN associated with a specific landline telephone account. Calls using the card are billed to the associated account. Contents: stored value phone cards. And stored value, called so because the card itself contains the balance available. The balance is read by the public pay phone machine when it is inserted into the machine's card reader. This is superficially similar to an automated teller machine at a bank, but a stored value card is more closely analogous to a change purse than an ATM card. While ATMs, as well as the remote memory systems discussed below, use the card merely to identify the associated account and record changes in a central database, stored value systems make a physical alteration to the card to reflect the new balance after a call. Used primarily for payphones, stored value systems avoid the time lag and expense of communication with a central database, which would have been prohibitive before the 1990s. There are several ways in which the value can be encoded on the card. The earliest system used a magnetic stripe as information carrier, similar to the technology of ATMs and key cards. The first magnetic stripped phone card, manufactured by Sida, was issued in 1976 in Italy. The next technology used optical storage. Optical phone cards get their name from optical structure embossed inside the cards. This optical structure is heated and destroyed after use of the units. Visible marks are left on the top of the cards, so that the user can see the balance of remaining units. Optical cards were produced by Landis Plus GYR and Sedico from Switzerland, and were popular early phonocards in many countries, with first optical phonocards successfully introduced in 1977 in Belgium. Such technology was very secure, and not easily hackable, but chip cards phased out the optical phone cards around the world, and the last Landis Plus GYR factory closed in May 2006, when optical phonocards were still in use in few countries like Austria, Israel and Egypt. The third subsystem of stored value phone cards is chip cards, first launched on a large scale in 1986 in Germany by Deutsche Bundespost after 3 years of testing, and in France by France Telecom. Many other countries followed suit, including Ireland in 1990 and the UK circa 1994 to 1995, which phased out the old green Landis and G cards in favor of the more colorful chip, smart cards. The initial microchips were easy to hack, typically by scratching off the programming voltage contact on the card, which rendered the phone unable to reduce the card's value after a call. But by the mid to late 1990s, highly secure technology aided the spread of chip phone cards worldwide. Making a prepaid, or calling card call, requires the user to make 2 calls. Regardless of the type of card, it is necessary to dial an access telephone number to connect to the calling card system. There are several methods. One is via a toll-free number, with larger companies offering this internationally. Access through a local number has become increasingly popular in recent years. Toll-free calls are paid for by the recipient, the calling card company, which passes on the cost through higher call charges. Total cost of a call to the user is often lower using a local number. When traveling through several local areas, a toll-free service may be preferable. Once connected to the access number, the account is identified by keying in a PIN, the most popular method, or by swiping a card with embedded chip or magnetic stripe. After validation, the balance remaining on the card may be announced, and the desired number may be keyed in. The available minutes may be announced, and the call is connected. Many cards make a verbal announcement if credit is running out. Prepaid or calling cards are usually much cheaper than other telephone services, particularly for travelers who do not have easy access to other services. Hotel telephones can be very expensive, particularly for long-distance calls. Cellular services are flexible, but may attract high roaming charges away from the home area. Remote memory systems. Telephone accounts symbolized by a card. The second main technology of phonecards is remote memory, which uses a toll or toll-free access number to reach the database and check for balance on product. As the United States never had a single nationalized telephone service, or even the same firm for every part of a state, and with the deregulation of its major telecommunications providers, there was no incentive to be consistent with the rest of the world. The ease of use of sliding a card into a machine, just as in a telemachine, was countered by fears of vandalism of the machines. The first public prepaid remote memory phonecard was issued in the United States in December 1980 by Phone Line. As telecom industries around the world became deregulated, remote memory cards were issued in various countries. Remote memory phonecards can be used from any tone mode phone, and do not require special card readers. Since remote memory cards are more accessible, and have lower costs, remote memory phone cards have proliferated. However, the utility of these cards is reduced due to the large number of digits that need to be entered during usage. To call a long-distance number, the user first dials the local access number, then keys in the secret code, followed by the actual long-distance number. Based on the long-distance number entered, the time remaining on the card is announced, and the call is finally processed through. Remote memory phonecards are in essence text, requiring an access number, a unique PIN and instructions. Therefore, the instructions can be printed on virtually anything, or can be delivered via email or the internet. Currently, many websites post phone card details through email. Phone cards are available in most countries in retail stores, retail chains, and commonly post offices or corner stores. In general, remote memory phonecards can be issued by any company, and come in countless varieties. They can focus on calling to certain countries or regions, and have specific features such as rechargeability, pinless dial, speed dial, and more. Phone cards may have connection fees, taxes, and maintenance fees, all influencing the rates. Accounts without a card, virtual phone cards. Since the early 2000s, calling card service providers have introduced calling accounts not associated with a physical card. Calling accounts can be purchased over the internet using credit cards, and are instantly delivered to the customer via email. This email contains the PIN and instructions for using the service. The service may be prepaid, or may take payment from a credit card, or by direct debit. Some prepaid card companies allow accounts to be recharged online manually or automatically via a method called auto top-up. Some virtual cards offer pinless dialing, either by dialing a number unique to the customer, or by recognizing the telephone number which originated the call by caller ID, and relating it to the appropriate account. Some virtual phone cards allow customers to view their call detail reports, CDRs, online by logging into their account. The virtual phone card has become a multi-billion US dollar industry as of 2009, with a number of large corporations and smaller .com pioneers. While long-distance inland calls have been offered by calling cards, by the mid-2000s conventional carriers reduced their rates to be competitive. However, in many countries, calling card-type indirect services can be much cheaper than normal calls. Phone card is an artifact or collectible. Telecom companies have placed advertising on phone cards, or featured celebrity portraits, artwork, or attractive photography. As the supply of any one design is limited, this has led some people to collect disposable phone cards. The hobby is sometimes called fusillately in the UK, and a collector is known as a fusilladalist. In the USA it is called telegery. Phonecards have been collected worldwide since the mid-1970s, and peaked in the mid-1990s, when over 2 million people collected phonecards. There are many websites dedicated to this hobby, some of which offer catalogs and show the stories behind the cards. Collector Magic is the largest database and informational website concerning US-issued telephone cards. CarlNect is a site providing the world's most extensive online phonecards catalog. Phone card collecting declined with the phone card industry, however, it has since become popular again. Support in telephones. Most modern telephones, both mobile and fixed, have memory locations in which telephone numbers can be stored. Some telephones have facilities to make calls through a calling card service whose access details and PIN are also stored in the telephone's memory. This may be implemented in different ways, often by pressing one button before making a call. Some telephones support chain dialing, allowing additional numbers to be dialed when on a call. For instance, dial a pin and a second number after connecting to an access number. So long as long enough sequences can be stored, it is possible to store an access number, pause, pin, and ultimate telephone number in a single normal phone memory location. Software applications which add calling card support are available for a small charge or free for some mobile telephones, which allow software to be installed. Mobile telephones which